So David, tell us a little bit about the super profits tax that's been proposed.
Well, it's suddenly been proposed by the federal government. It's a resource rent tax. They call it a super profits tax. Not really a super profits tax because it goes on any profit above the long-term bond rate. And very few people would call that a super profit. It's 40%, and that's on top of the 30% which the company's already paying, and they're already paying royalties, but that would be included in the special tax. Now, understandably, at 70%, that's a lot of money.
So why is this such a bad thing?
Well, the argument by the government is we the people own the resources. Well, when they're saying that, they mean we, or rather the Crown and the right of the Commonwealth, owns the resources. That's wrong. It's the Crown in the right of the state which owns the resources. And that's why the West Australian government has royalties to recover the value of those resources. The Queensland government has them. It's not really a matter for the Commonwealth to claim title in the resources. It's the Crown, but not the Crown in the right of the Commonwealth, it's the Crown in the right of the states. And what the states have worked out is something reasonable, which means there's a return for the state, but which won't drive away investment. What the government is proposing is an amount so astronomical in world terms that every miner in the country will reassess every possible new investment, and they'll consider should they be investing offshore. Because Mr. Rudd probably doesn't quite understand it, but we don't have a monopoly of minerals. There are a number of other countries which have similar minerals, and the sure way to drive away investment is to make the whole thing too expensive. We already have high labour costs, and the miners have been very good in paying very generous returns to their employees and to their contractors. What this is doing is throwing existing projects into a mess, because suddenly they've got this possible additional cost which they haven't calculated in making their decisions to invest.
A very comprehensive analysis.
There's one other aspect. The way he did it does not reflect a democratic country. Normally what you do when you get a report like this, why he went to the head of the Treasury to do this report, I do not understand. Somebody outside should have done it, because the head of the Treasury would then give advice to the government on the report. But anyway, that's what he did. And he sat on it for months. In an interview he said he hadn't actually read it. But then last week the Cabinet got to see it, and instead of doing what you do in a democracy, tabling it in Parliament so that there can be a debate, it was released to the media with his answer on it. It was handed out at a lock-up to which the opposition was invited. They weren't treated as members of Parliament, they went to a lock-up. They got 4 hours notice. And then he expects everybody in the country to roll over and accept what he dictates. Now, when you look at the record of this government, they can't put pink bats in roofs, a simple operation, without having some unfortunate people die and without causing fires across the country. They can't build properties in schools without charging 2 or 3 times the proper price. Can we have any confidence that they could possibly do this properly? It is a disaster.
What's the opposition's position on this?
Fortunately, I'm pleased to see it. The opposition is opposed, and Tony Abbott is absolutely right to oppose this. This is the industry which got the country out of the recession. Kevin Rudd says he did, but the Auditor General's report has just shown that the stimulus package, $2 billion only of a $16 billion package was spent by December. How could that possibly have any effect on the recession? This government has an appalling record of profligacy, of incompetence in administration, and of trying to get more money through new taxes on the population. They've moved from a large surplus which the Howard government left them. They've borrowed enormous amounts of money. Now they have to work out how to pay the interest on that borrowed money and how to repay it.
Finally, do you think that this will be a key election issue?
It should be. I hope it is. If the media do their job and the opposition does its job, then it will be a key issue in the election.
Thank you.